Here we are back at it again for the Tuesday workout this week, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do mobility is grab a small ball. Now you can use a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, or here I have two of the tune-up balls, and I can show you how you can use two versus one ball for this. But these are going to be three different locations in mobility exercises that we haven't done yet, okay? And I think you're going to like them. So it's meant to target and work on the lower limb, like especially the calf and foot area, as you're going to find out. And if you're into running or you do a lot of walking, these areas get really tight and junky, so that's why we're working on it. While on quarantine, I know a lot of people have been going out and running, jogging, walking, because that's one of the few things that we can do. So these areas are likely going to be very tight, especially if you've never done them before. Okay, so the first one that we're going to do is going to be the posterior chain attachment point under your foot. Okay, so the posterior chain is a fascial chain that runs along the backside of your body. And this fascia goes all the way down, turns into your Achilles tendon. Okay, that's where it all converges at the bottom of your body. And then the Achilles tendon goes down and around the heel here. And if you can see on my sock, this line right here on the underside of my heel, not quite right at the point of my heel, but a little bit more under, like literally this line is a perfect placement for that, because it's right under the heel as it goes into more of the sole, okay? That is where the posterior chain attachment and Achilles tendon attaches to on the calcaneus, which is the heel bone. So we're going to put the ball right here, and you'll see I'm going to end up standing. I'm going to massage this point. So I'll show you what that looks like. So the ball is going to go right there where I said, under the heel. Okay? So you can see that my toes are still on the ground. And you're going to keep the toes on the ground there. And very gently, very, very gently, putting as much weight as you can tolerate, you're going to go side to side. Now you don't want to put too much weight on here, especially if you're using a lacrosse ball, because it is a really tender area, and if you've never done it before, then you can actually end up bruising the area, which we don't want. But if you're using a softer ball like a tennis ball, like so, you can see that I could basically smash that tennis ball down and go side to side really gently. And that works really well as well. But you could put more weight on this type of ball. So it's your choice. You either use a firmer ball, put less weight, grab a softer ball and put more weight. Whatever you do, just do side to side, keeping the toes down. And you're going to do that for 2 minutes on that foot. Okay, so let's just say I did my right foot. Before you do the other side, we're going to continue up the chain and do everything on the right leg. So I just did my right posterior chain attachment point on my heel. Now I'm going to go into anterior tibialis, an area we've never done before. So anterior tib is this muscle right here on the front of my shin. And again, because we do a lot of walking or running, this area will get super tight. And you'll find it's a muscle that really doesn't feel good when you do it, almost no matter what, because it's such a thin muscle that runs along this kind of tender, tight area that it can be pretty painful. So again, you can use a softer ball or firmer ball, whatever you want, okay? And you're going to put the ball on some sort of bench or box. So you can see here I have the box. I'm going to put the ball on there, and basically to the lateral side of my shin, you can see my shin bone is right here. You can actually feel bone more on the medial side of it right here. You want the ball to be just on the lateral side of the shin bone, so on the outside of your shin, kind of all on this entire surface right here. And the muscle goes from this bone, this little nodule right here, all the way down to the ankle. Now we're going to work on it just in this 2 to 3 inch range right here, kind of like the bigger, broader surface of the shin. So we're not going to work all the way. So we're going to get the ball in that area, and you'll see that I'm going to lay my shin on that area. Now with a ball, right, you're at risk for rolling around, so you have to be mindful and not moving too much, not allowing the ball to roll all over the place. Now the nice thing is about the surface that I have here, I can put my back knee down on the ground. So find something that's somewhat comfortable. You can also do this on the ground, and I'll show you that, but it takes away what I'm about to describe to you next. So the nice thing about doing on an elevated surface is that I can actually move my foot into plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. And this is really important because this is the equivalent, this is a contract relax for this area. So as the ball's in that location, we're going to point our toes and then we're going to pull our toes up towards our shin. And you'll feel as you go along with that up and down motion with the foot that we're just getting deeper and deeper into the anterior tib, that muscle tissue that the ball is in. If you want, you can also very gently do a little side to side. So I'm kind of slowly trying to knead, K-N-E-A-D, in the muscle tissue by driving side to side with my knee. So play with dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, and side to side motion with that particular location for about 2 minutes. Okay, so now after you get the 2 minutes in the anterior tib, we're going to go into hamstring calf attachment in the back of the knee. So this could be a really gnarly one, so take your time. Use a softer ball as needed. So I'm actually going to demonstrate with a tennis ball first. So what you want to find is basically the outside portion. You can see this tendinous protrusion right here in my knee. That is part of my hamstring tendon, okay, coming down through the back of my knee. Now we're going to go just behind that. Keep the ball right in the back of the knee there. And then you're going to get into a kneeling position. And you're going to sit back on your heels as much as you can. Now you can see that it's pushing my calf out here. So it's really nicely capturing the lateral portion of my calf, my gastrocnemius here. And then on the top side of that, the ball is pressing into my hamstring tendon on the back side of my thigh. Now, I'm making this look easy because I practice, but I promise you it does not feel good. But remember, we're not really going for feeling good here. The good feelings come after when you're done with it, and you begin to notice how this is going to really help your body. It's going to help you feel more supple, more prepared for exercise. So you can see now that I'm kind of doing this shifting with my hips side to side. And what that's allowing me to do is just kind of massage my way deeper into the muscle. Now, if you got to shift forward and then sit back down, play with that, okay? You can go forward, you can go back, you can go side, side. If you need to take a break in general, just scoot forward out of it. Okay, and then place it back in. Sit back on it. Ooh, and sometimes when you replace it, maybe if I place it more in the middle of my knee rather than on the outside, if I go more in the middle and keep it in the middle, that can feel much different. So you can play with that and go side to side there. So we got 2 minutes in this location as well. So you did 2 minutes posterior chain attachment, you did 2 minutes anterior tib, and then you did 2 minutes hamstring attachment point behind the knee. Okay, so that's 6 minutes per lower leg. Do both sides, make sure you get that exact amount of time, then switch sides, and that's about 12 minutes for your mobility today. Obviously you could do longer, or definitely don't do less, but you could do around 3 minutes per location if you want as well. Hope you enjoyed that. I will see you in Tier 2, core activation. Adios.